Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about factors that can increase the chances of your visa applications being approved. We all know that visa application processes are very complicated, but with the right strategy and preparations, you can increase the chances of your visa being approved. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. You can always learn from people that have done it. I'm going to share my experience with you. You can take some tips and pointers from me and make your journey shorter. This video is actually a request from so many of my subscribers, and for me, you guys know my passion for adventure and trying out new cultures. So here are some tips for you to get your visa applications approved. The first factor you need to consider are your documentations. Do you have all the necessary documents such as your passport, your application form, and all the supporting documents requested by the embassy? You need to double check these things and make sure that everything is in order. Also double check to make sure that you have filled in all the information required correctly. One thing I notice is that most people do not like sharing their applications with anyone. Of course, you shouldn't, but you should find someone that you really trust so that the person can go through it with you, because there's something that you might have probably missed. For me, what I do is that my man and I go through all my applications. We go through it over and over again before we finally submit. You don't just fill the form, you are in a hurry to go and submit, and you submit. If you make any mistakes, you might not see it, and that can go against you. My advice is, after you have filled in the forms and everything, you have gathered your documentations and all that, go over it over and over again to double check. If you have someone you trust, you could go over the whole thing with them. But if you don't, sleep on it, go over it over and over again to make sure that you have filled in everything correctly. Don't sabotage yourself by you just fill the form, no, you go and hit submit. You might have missed something, you might not, but let's just be sure. For me, I like to cross check things and be sure. And also, if your passport is going to expire in less than 6 months, you might want to renew it, because you cannot travel with a passport that has 6 months or less to expire. So you have to make sure that your passport has enough date. The second factor you need to consider is your financial situation. Depending on the type of visa you are applying for, you need to show financial stability, as in your bank statement, proof of income, or letter from your employer. You need to make sure that you have enough funds to cover your travel expenses during your stay. So if you are, a lot of people have asked me how much they need to have in their accounts to apply for a visa, and I always tell them that it depends on the type of visa you are applying for. If you are applying for a visit visa, you don't need so much, because you are going to visit a relative, so you'll not be staying in a hotel whereby you have to pay for accommodation, feeding, and all of that stuff. But if you are coming as a tourist, you need to have enough. You need to show that you can afford to fly, you can afford to pay for hotel, you can afford to feed, you can afford to move around. You need to show a loaded bank account, because you're coming as a tourist. And I know that in your application, you might have stated that when you come, you want to go to Niagara. If it's London, you want to go to the London Eye. You have, if it's US, you want to go to all the places that you want to go to cost money, because you are coming to tour. You're coming to tour. So make sure that your bank account is loaded. Okay, so that is it for that. The third factor you need to consider is your travel history. If you are somebody who have been out of your home country before, it's a positive sign. It shows that you are a responsible traveler, as in you are not trying to run away from your country, and that when you go, you will come back. So travel history is very, very important. But then if you've also had past issues with immigrations or visas, that can also be a red flag. Okay, so if you're trying to go to the US, or you're trying to go to London, maybe you have applied the first time, they didn't give you because they think you're trying to run away, or they think you've never been anywhere before, so they don't really trust that they should give you the visa. What you can do to help yourself is that you can start by going to visa-free countries, Dubai, Zanzibar, what other places? Google it. Okay, just visit those places to build your travel history. See, I always tell my friends that, look, travel history is very, very important. Okay, let's just imagine this scenario. You are an immigration officer, someone has applied for a visa, but they haven't left their home country before. And then you start to think, should I give this person this visa? If I grant them this visa, will they be, like, can they go and come back? Will they be responsible? Are they not trying to flee their home country? You know, so many thoughts will go through your mind. But if you see the application and this person has been to this place, they've been to this place, they have come back, you think that, okay, this person can handle this visa if I should grant it. So you go ahead and grant it. You are increasing your chances of getting the visa. So if your target is US or Canada or wherever, start by building your travel history. Start. Yes, guys, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. The only thing it will hurt is your bank account. But thankfully, money comes and goes, so you don't have to worry. The travel experience will stick with you forever, but the money there, it will come and go. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, so let's get to the next point. All right, guys, the fourth factor is your ties to your home country. Okay, this is particularly important if you're applying for a tourist or a visit visa. The embassy wants to make sure that you will return to your home country after your trip. Like, you have something at home to make you want to come back, such as a job, a family, or a property. Okay, so if you're married, it's a plus because you have a wife at home. So you not leave your wife and go and stay somewhere else. If you have kids, that's even more better. Okay, so and then if you have a business or if you have a good job, a decent job, that will not make you want to flee your country. They are all a plus. So when you're applying for your visa, especially if it's a tourist or a visit visa, make sure you have strong ties back home. But guys, let's note that whatever you put in your application, make sure that you have proof. Okay, so don't go and say you own a property when you don't have proof. Don't go and say you are married when you don't have proof. That way, the immigration officer will feel like you are just lying. Don't go and say you have a family, you have kids when you have none. So whatever you put in the application, make sure there's some form of proof to back whatever you are saying. This will only make your application solid. Okay, guys, the fifth and final factor is your interview performance. If you're going to have an interview as part of your visa application process, then you have to be prepared. Okay, so you can start by answering common questions about yourself. Make sure that whatever you filled in the form is what you are going to say when you get there and they ask you the same question. Make sure that you say the same thing. Okay, if you filled in the form that you went to school A, don't get there, they ask you the same question and you go and mention school B. Okay, so make sure that whatever you say at the interview is in line with what you have filled in the form, because the person, immigration officer asking you the question is just going by what you have filled in the form. They don't know you. You know yourself better than they do. So make sure that your story is straight. Make sure that your story is one. Don't be changing your story here and there. They are going to say no. Make sure that whatever, if you say you are married on the form, when you get there and they ask you, are you married? Say yes. Your date of birth on the form should be the same date of birth you mentioned to the immigration officer. Okay, so make sure that everything is in line. What I realize is that most people, especially with US applications, most people do not apply, like fill in the forms themselves. They get other people to do that for them. But there's an interview at stake. So you have to make sure that whatever was filled into the form, you know it. You know, your age, your education and all that. Make sure that when you go, when they ask you, whatever you say should be in line with what you have filled in the form. Okay. And also you have to dress properly. Okay, we have a way we dress for interviews and we have a way we dress to the beach and we have a way we dress to the club. Okay, know the difference and dress appropriately, and also be respectful to the embassy officials. Okay, respect takes you a long way, so be respectful. There's one thing that I forgot to mention. You need to be confident. Okay, whether they give you or not, it's not the end of the world. Be confident. Get in there and act like, if you don't give me, I love Ghana. If you give me, fine, I'll go and come. But if you don't give me, we try again another time. Be confident, okay? It's not the end of the world. One thing about being confident is if you are confident and even if there's something missing in your application, the immigration officer will start to question himself. Is he the one missing something, or this guy is just... So yeah, be confident. So guys, by considering all these factors and taking the necessary steps, you can significantly increase the chances of your visa applications being approved. Okay. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, if you find these tips helpful, please like and comment. By way of liking and commenting, you make me understand that you are enjoying my content. So please like and comment. You are helping my video reach more people, and then you are helping me grow my audience as well. So please like and comment, okay? And hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 1K. Subscribe to my channel and let me know what you want to see more on this channel. Do you want more tips on immigration and travel? Let me hear it in the comments, okay? And I'll make a video for you. If you're not following me on social media, I'll leave my social media handle somewhere on the screen so you can follow me. Let's connect and be a big family. Bye.